It's really three levels of threat. One is actually from true nation states who are looking for intelligence information, they're looking for intellectual property, and you mainly hear individuals talk about Russia and North Korea, Iran, and China. They're the main government organized groups.
And are they necessarily looking to disrupt, or are they mostly looking to just look around?
Generally, they're looking to look around. They're generally very stealthy. Their objective is to be able to get into the networks, to be able to exfiltrate information without being detected. And you'll see rare instances perhaps where they're disruptive, but in many cases that's sort of a side impact to the fact that they're in the network. The second threat, which is the one I think which is really very, very challenging for corporations as well as for state government level and all of government, are really those organized crime groups that are within those same countries, quite frankly, in some cases, in other countries. Those groups are really much more after financial gain and not so much after necessarily, to your point, disruption.
Right.
The third group is actually the ones that are a little scarier, and they're a combination of your traditional hacktivists who are just in many cases, they want to be disruptive because they want you to know they're there. But what's happening also is that cyber warfare is actually, I shouldn't say inexpensive, but you can go out and you can actually buy tools on the internet to be disruptive. And so you're starting to see some of the fringe groups actually be able to have a cyber impact that doesn't necessarily reflect their status as a nation state, doesn't necessarily reflect their status from an organized crime standpoint, but they can be very disruptive.
So if you were to take all of this and now overlay that onto Internet of Things, where we're talking about connecting devices, things with back-end cloud applications and systems, it does seem like it opens up a whole new door of concerns to have.
From what we've dealt with before, we've really dealt with individuals actually having access, or individuals actually being able to do something. And now we're in a situation where, again, to your point, we're seeing an explosion of devices taking advantage of being able to connect via the internet. Those devices are anything from our own personal capabilities, be they a watch or a Fitbit or any kind of a device, but all the way down to what controls our critical infrastructure. And that's been a concern, I think, for the states, and it's becoming an even greater concern if you look at things like water systems, energy systems, and so on. All of them are now being connected where they before ran on very secure, dedicated systems. They're now being able to take advantage of the benefit of the internet. And with that, and once you start to explode it from the standpoint of the number of devices, now it changes the dynamic in terms of how you detect that you have an anomaly, how do you detect what it is that's happening.